the state of this. I've been up all night on these Xboxes. I've got Xboxes, power supplies, bench power, 3 more Xboxes, another Xbox, and another stack there. The problem with these is no schematics whatsoever. You can see here, I've started diagnosing them, and the problem I'm trying to solve is what's called a frag error. Now, this is when the console does a very specific boot, which is flash on, off, come on, and then flash green and red. This is called a frag error for flashing red and green, and there's really no decent documentation on it. All the documentation out there is wrong, basically. It's as simple as that. And I'm trying to reverse engineer these boards. I've got a lot of the way, and I've got some documentation, but let me show you the last straw, where I think I'm just going to give up for today and come back and do more documentation. So I've had this one fully working, completely, utterly working, this one fully working, and that one fully working. All of them now have frag, after simply cleaning them. So I mean literally IPA cleaning. So let's just power this one up. We'll see solid green light, and it stays on. And now this isn't frag because there was no on-off cycle. And you can see the console boots. The flashing longer green and a quick red is literally because there's no hard drive in. So it's complaining, well, I actually have a hard drive in, but it's not locked to this EEPROM. So ignore that, but that's not the issue. Now watch this. Watch how reproducible this is. Oh, IPA, let's clean the board. Let's just clean there, that one little spot. Let's turn the console back on. Oh, look at that, it's fragged. It's completely dead. So now we have frag. So you'll think, oh, okay, I'll just dry out the IPA. So let's do that. Let's just fully dry the IPA in that area, completely and utterly. So there's no IPA under the south bridge. There's no IPA around here. And trust me, I've done this multiple times to make it completely reproducible. So this isn't like, oh, there'll be a bit of IPA under this chip. Trust me, I've dried it overnight and come back to it the next day, and it's the same. So there is everything cleaned and dried. There is no IPA on. We could leave this for time, it doesn't matter. And we turn it on, and look, it's still got frag. Now you ready for the fun part? Let's wait for this to go so we can turn it off. And I won't do this on a cut, so you can see this is literally live, nothing else is changing. So that frags, you've just seen it frag. And if I literally just rest my finger on here and turn on, that's all I'm going to do. So about there, turn on, and look, the frag's now gone and it's back to booting. And I've done this multiple times, and just holding over what seems to be this chip, but you can see I had to go a bit further, so it's almost like this entire general circuit. And I'm not pushing down, I've reflowed all of these pins, so it isn't solder, it isn't dirt, it will be capacitance from my finger, which is normally the indication of a bad trace. But once this is working and it's on, it stays on until you basically clean it again or do any kind of work in the area. So when I've come to other boards, I've come to these boards, and you're generally working around the area, adding the LPC header, maybe just flowing some components, and you just get a frag from nowhere. I can consistently now bring them all out of frag by just touching this area. I've got absolutely no idea yet what it is. I thought it was components or resistors, but they all measure out. It's got something to do with capacitance on my finger. And now this does continue to boot. You no longer have to hold there. So you're not pressing on a trace damage. It definitely isn't trace damage. This will now just continue to boot. And it will stay like that until you literally decide to go, oh, I'm just going to clean the board again. And now if we reboot, you can almost guarantee this will be fragged straight away. There you go, fragged again. So get that. If you want to see where I'm up to at the minute, I have on the wiki all the info, and ignore the bit here where I've reflowed. I'm going to update this, it's currently wrong, but you can see I'm working through every possible real cause of frag, not just a guide that says it could be anything reflow chips. So I'm figuring out this slowly, but if I had schematics, this would definitely be a lot easier.